Hello, I'm Jacques Halbronn in Paris. I would like to give you the last news about French astrology and the new results we have in our research, in our presentation of astrology. 2 points deserve, according to me, to be developed tonight on this 19th of February 2015. The first point is that we have to distinguish between cyclical astrology and astromantic astrology, or if you prefer, astrological divination. Astrological divination is much older than cyclical astrology. This divination from the sky, from the heaven, doesn't need quite a sophisticated level in astronomy at all. You just have to watch, observe, describe the sky at a special moment, the moment of the consultation, or, if you can have it, the moment of a past event, birth, war, accident, whatever. This astromancy, M-A-N-C-Y, like we have chiromancy, or geomancy, manteia in Greek, mantic, can very well adopt a very modern look, because since they work from the sky, they are interested by describing the sky with its latest discoveries, including asteroids, trans-Saturnians, etc. That describes quite well, I think, the attitude of most contemporary astrologers who are curious, interested by getting as many data as possible concerning the sky. Not necessarily the stars, as a matter of fact, but at least the planets of the solar system. In fact, at a later period will emerge another type of astrology, which is the cyclical astrology, which has to do with the mundane astrology, but which doesn't have to include and consider all the planets of the solar system, whatever age you consider, 7 planets or more. According to me, the appearance of this astrology, which we could call scientific astrology by comparison with divinatory astrology, is very much concerned by the time and not the space. Divinatory astrology is considering the space, the heaven, as a very special moment where you consider all the possibilities. This very special moment means how little the time is considered. It's just a small factor, which is the time of birth, for instance. The rest is just a matter of watching what happens at this moment, what you can see at this moment. On the contrary, cyclical astrology would consider time as a long process, as a music, by opposition to a painting. And you will not have to consider all the planets, but only one. Why? Because between these two astrologies, there is a third astrology, a middle astrology, which exists today in the form of the 12 signs of the zodiac and the horoscopes in the media. These are in the calendar, the month, etc. This astrology is based on the connection between moon and sun, which cannot really be assimilated to planets, as you will admit. And they are a sort of archetype of a cycle, an astrological cycle. A cycle which takes months to be completed. When they discovered much later on the existence of planets and the difference between planets and the stars, they discovered, with a sort of exaltation, I suppose, that there was a certain planet which had a lot in common with the moon, which is Saturn. Why Saturn? Because Saturn needs 28 years, more or less, to achieve its course. And it has not escaped to the attention of the former astronomers, that it has to do with the 28 days of the moon. At this moment, Saturn was ideally considered as the possibility of a sort of superior moon, one day for 1 year, which is a consideration, a correspondence that you find in the Bible. 40 days, 40 years, etc. And also in certain form of progression in astrology. 1 day for 1 year. But they had to divide this course, the cycle of 28 years, in 4 periods of 7 years, in the same way that the moon's cycle was divided in 4 periods of 7 days. How could they do that? Could they achieve that target? By using 4 fixed stars, which reached us under the name of royal stars: Aldebaran in the constellation of Taurus, Antares at the opposite in the constellation of Scorpio, Regulus in the constellation of Leo, and Fomalhaut in the constellation of the austral Pisces, which has to do with the Aquarius constellation, not far. And this permitted to divide roughly in 4 periods of 7 years the cycle of Saturn. And obviously you will understand that it was by no means possible to combine Saturn with any other planet. Because by doing that you will totally miss the point of having 4 periods of 7 years. Abu Mazar, in the 10th century more or less, proposed to combine Saturn and Jupiter, but it reached something of period of 20 years, and it was not possible to reach this 7 years system. A curious coincidence, and I will finish my lecture on that, a curious coincidence which is a source of some misunderstanding, is the fact, which has been broken by the discovery of Uranus, as a matter of fact, the fact that the 7 years of Saturn of the 7 days of the moon could be compared to the 7 planets of the solar system, which was not called like that before. 7 moving planets. If you consider the moon and the sun as a moving planet around the Earth. From a geocentric point of view, moon and sun could be assimilated to the 5 planets: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. And then, by consequence, you had these 7 planets, which were, as you know, attributed to the 7 days of the week, especially in Latin cultures, like in France, in Spain, or in Italy, and with some sort of analogies with the northern mythologies in England and in Germany, etc. And this is a mistake. This has nothing. This is not. This has been an obstacle to a progression, a proper progression of astrology, of the astrological thought. It's just a coincidence. It has nothing to do with it. It's a coincidence, but it has been the basis, for instance, of many astrological structures. And until the discovery of Uranus, this idea of the septenaire in French, was central. And the septenaire took the place of the idea of one main cycle, which would be the cycle of Saturn. And when we discovered Uranus from an observatory, if you can call it, in Bath, by William Herschel, it broke the idea of the septenaire. And moreover, with Neptune in 1846, which also was a contribution of the French, but also of an English, Koch Adams, etc. And so we have here an interesting history of astrology, I believe. And I think it will change certain representations of the subject. Thank you.